let's talk character dining. Probably the most quintessential thing that you could do at Disneyland, which for those of you who don't know, that's where you're literally dining with characters. And it's super fun. It's a great way to be able to get a lot of character meet and greets in without waiting in lines, and still getting a really tasty meal at the same time. Now, before you even ask the question, I would say that in pretty much every case, character dining is worth it. And I don't think I'm alone on this. They're probably some of the most popular experiences at the Disneyland Resort for a reason, and they're usually full of experiences that you are not going to forget. There are actually 5 different options for character dining in the Disneyland Resort. You have the Plaza Inn at Disneyland, hosted by Minnie. Over at California Adventure, you have Ariel's Grotto, hosted by Ariel. At the Grand Californian, there's the Storyteller's Cafe, which is hosted by Chip and Dale. At the Paradise Pier Hotel, there is the PCH Grill, and that one's hosted by Mickey. And then at the Disneyland Hotel, there is, of course, Goofy's Kitchen, which is hosted by Goofy. They all serve breakfast, but Ariel's Grotto also serves lunch, and Goofy's Kitchen also serves dinner. Now, these all have different pros and cons to them. They all cost different amounts of money per person, and that's what's really going to play a big factor in helping you figure out what is going to be the best fit for your family, because they all also feature different characters. If you like princesses, then you want to make sure you go to Ariel's Grotto. If you want to make sure you meet Mickey, then you have to go to the Paradise Pier Hotel with PCH Grill. So these are things that you have to consider so you don't get disappointed when you arrive. I'm actually going to put a link in the description to an article that we did where I laid out all the pros and cons to every character dining so that you can make that decision for yourself and then go onto Disneyland's webpage and make reservations there. That's actually the next thing I would really recommend, is that you should get reservations. They say that they're recommended for a reason because they tend to fill up, especially Goofy's Kitchen. Some of the other ones you could walk up to, but I really would recommend getting a reservation so that that's something that you can guarantee is going to happen and you don't have to worry about anything coming up and messing that up. I just want to go over a couple of things so that you understand how the whole experience will work if you've never done this before. At each character dining, when you first arrive, you are going to be getting a picture together with the host or hostess. Now, of course, they are willing to take this picture with all of your cameras as well. They will have a PhotoPass photographer there taking pictures as well. If you have PhotoPass, this actually is not free. In these instances, you would have to purchase those photo packages separately. They can be pretty pricey. They'll come around to your table and present you with the pictures. If that's something that you want, then you can go from there. Otherwise, you can just stick with what they take with your camera. Once you get seated, most of them are buffets, and so you can just kind of go and get food as you please. And keep in mind, the characters will come to you. You do not have to chase the characters down. In fact, if you stand up and wait by a character, then the other attendants or the servers will actually just come and let you know, hey, you know what, they're gonna come to your table in just a little bit, so just hang tight and they'll be there. If maybe you've been there for a while and you've noticed that there's a character that you just haven't seen and you're worried that you may have missed them, just kind of bring it up to your server. They can go talk to the character and make sure that they come and say hello before they leave. Or before you leave, I guess, which is the bigger problem. Now, here's something about etiquette in these instances that I want to make sure I bring to people's attention. The characters at a character dining experience are not really going to seem like in a rush to leave your table most of the time. They are going to be sitting there and they're going to interact with you pretty much as long as you keep interacting with them. This can become a problem if groups are particularly large and want to take an inordinate amount of pictures with the characters. Last time we were at the Plaza Inn, there was a table, like one big family, about 15 to 20 people or so, and the characters would go to their table right before they would come to ours. So we had to wait for them. But that's not a big deal. We know it's going to take a little longer because their group is so large. However, we started noticing that everyone would take a picture and then they would just take more pictures with everyone in different combinations. Normally characters try to spend less than 5 minutes at each table. They were spending 5 to 10 minutes at this table. And it was just taking a very long time, and the families were not really letting the characters leave, because every time they would feel like they were done with the picture, they would throw someone else at them. We were like, we're done with our meal, but we really want to meet these characters, but they're busy right here, and they've been there for a long time. It got a little frustrating. So just kind of keep that in mind and make sure that you are sharing the time with the characters with the other guests who are there wanting to meet them as well. that does not mean that you shouldn't be having a lot of fun with them, because by all means have fun. That's one of the best aspects of a character dining experience, is being able to interact with them very personally. There are so many memorable things that can happen from this. There was one time we went and Dale started throwing grapes at our waitress, and she was even like, well, that's never happened before. There was another time where Chip was our waiter, and he would not leave until he made certain that my nieces had their silverware laid out properly and their napkins draped across their laps. And then he would finally leave. And then the one time we met Peter Pan, and he was a particularly short fellow, and I'm not. And so when I stood up to take a picture with him, I actually got down on my knees. And then we got to kind of go back and forth on that one. It was kind of fun. And feel free to bring those autograph books or anything else that you want them to sign, because they're happy to do it. They want to meet you, they want to get to know you, and so it's a fun environment. And sometimes this is going to be a really expensive investment for you, but I guarantee you it's going to be worth it, and you're not going to regret having done it. Go ahead and leave in the comments below some of your favorite, most memorable experiences with character dining. Maybe they're not even at Disneyland, maybe they're at Walt Disney World. Some of the instances I've been explaining were, they're fun no matter where you're at. Also, feel free to leave any questions, comments, requests for other videos, and then give this a like and subscribe for more if you haven't already. And also share this with anyone who maybe is thinking about doing character dining, but they don't know what to expect or what to think about. And until next week, we will see you guys later. All right, bye.